What's up, ladies and gents? I was actually just in bed. I was in bed laying down for the night, waiting to fall asleep, and I was just randomly scrolling through YouTube. And in my recommended was a random lipo video from some YouTuber that I've never heard of. So I clicked on it to see what it was. I don't know if I'm glad that I did or if I'm mad that I did, because what this guy was doing was not only wrong, it was dangerous to the point where if like some little kid was following his video step by step, that little kid could have very well burned his house down, or shocked himself, or shorted his battery, caused a lipo fire, or any of a million things that could have went bad with the way that he was doing everything. I'm going to record a little bit of what he did, and then I'm going to quickly get into the proper way of how you're supposed to do these things. So in the video, the guy had a 2200 milliamp hour lipo, and with a Dean's connector, not that matters. I actually had to make, where is it? I had to make this because with an XT90, because all my cars, all my batteries, well, all my big batteries, my little ones use Dean's, all my big batteries use XT90. And my charger came with XT90, so I had to make a adapter so Dean's, so I had to make one with XT90. But anyway, in the video, what this guy did was, first of all, he used this right here, which clearly says 1.5 amp on it. I didn't even notice that it said that, but he was using a 0.5 amp adapter, so he was getting a third of the power that he needed to get. Never mind the holes, I did that, so obviously I did it, they're not even straight. But I did that, one, because I wanted to see this green light in here that's on the actual power supply and the B6 AC. And that's the difference between the B6 AC and the B6. The B6 AC has the adapter built into it, so you can use mains power rather than having to use this little thing right here. Yeah, so I wanted to be able to see the green light, and I wanted to put a fan in here, but unfortunately I cannot because I don't know if it's laying around. Oh, yeah, it is. This is the fan I was going to use, and as you can see, it is 5 volts, and there's nothing inside here that is 5 volts. Like, I used a multimeter and I poked around trying to find something so I could hook the fan up, and there is nothing in there. That LED takes a very, very tiny amount of power. The input from the mains is obviously 110 volts, and the output varies depending on what cell you plug your battery into. So it was just not safe to be rigging anything up to put a fan in there. So I just left it with the holes in there so it could breathe a little bit, and that was it. But anyway, like I tried to say 6 times, sorry, ADHD is kicking in. What this guy did was, first of all, these were unplugged. So let's say he was going to charge this battery. What he did, he plugged in his balance charger, and then he plugged in his Dean's connector, and then started talking about how you plug this in. Like, are you neglecting to realize that you now have 2 open exposed leads sitting here that now have power running through them and can either touch just by flopping around, those 2 ends can touch, or they could touch something else. And short, like, what if it like went down and touched this metal right here? There's a short. If it even touched the metal from this, there's a short. Well, this is powder coated, I don't know if that can conduct, but you get the idea. So he plugged in his battery without even touching these. These are just off camera flopping around somewhere until he pulled them into camera. Like, what the freak? Okay, so that was my first sign. So then he went to balance. He completely neglected to look at what his battery was. He just said that because he has a 0.5 amp adapter, he's going to charge his 2200 milliamp hour battery at 0.5 amps, which that itself is fine. That one move is not dangerous because it's fine to undervolt your charging. It's not good to overvolt your charging. But what if somebody had a 500 milliamp hour, a single cell lipo, and they were using a 1.5 amp adapter? Now you set this to 1.5 amps when your battery is only 500 milliamps, meaning it should be at 0.5 amps, and now you are putting 3 times the amount of power into your battery that you should be. So that's what's wrong with him doing that. Literally every single thing that this guy did was backwards or wrong or just straight up dangerous. So what you are supposed to do, this is a 5200 milliamp hour battery, so you put it to 5.2. On a 1500 milliamp hour, you put it at 1.5. 1000, you put it at 1.0. You get the idea here, but on an 1100 milliamp hour, you put it at 1.1. That is the proper way to charge your batteries. Or maybe I'm just retarded. I very well could just be completely idiotic and making a fool out of myself right now, but I'm pretty sure that the way I have always charged LiPo batteries since LiPo batteries started being used in RC cars, I'm pretty sure that's the proper way. Knock on wood. But I've never had a single LiPo battery go bad. I've never had one explode. The most I've even had one swell is so little that I'm not even sure if it's the LiPo swelling or if it's the tape that I have on the battery. Like, that's the swelling that my batteries have. So none, virtually none, no swelling, because as soon as batteries do swell or do look like they're damaged or get a wire that's unfixable or anything like that, I throw them in the garbage. And on top of that, I try to wrap them up in tape as much as possible. Not that that does anything too drastic, but it makes it so when you're out bashing your little RC cars, you would just have more of a layer in between your cells and the outside world. So if a little rock kicks up and tries to puncture your battery, it'll get stopped by the several layers of electrical tape that you have on your stuff. These I have not done yet because these sit in a tray inside the car. The way that the tray is, it's kind of impervious to little rocks being kicked up and stuff, but I probably should also wrap those. But yeah, I just had to quickly make this video. Like, this turned into a big long rant when I wanted it to be like a really short video. I'll make like a full-on battery safety video about how to charge and discharge your batteries, but what I said right there was pretty much how you do it. Make sure that you have a sufficient power source, a sufficient charger, and I know these are cheap, and yes, I'm well aware this is a clone for the few people that were able to point out the things that make this a clone, but it's more than enough. It could do up to 6S, but I only do up to 3S on it. But yeah, I'll make a full-on video, but for now, I just wanted to make that real short video. Apparently my recording got cut off. That's my quick rant. Just, if you don't know what you're doing with LiPo batteries, be careful. Be safe. Like, there's a ton of good information out there on the internet, but there's also a lot of bad information from people that really don't know what they're talking about. They just kind of want to make a video just to make a video, and like, you could just see by the things that they're doing that it's not right. And usually it's whatever, who cares? People want to make a video. I'm not gonna hate on them for that. But the issue is when you make a video about something that's dangerous, like LiPo batteries. I don't know what it is about lithium polymer, but it's like a borderline unstable element that just like wants to explode. I'm actually kind of terrified of LiPo batteries. Like, go look up LiPo fires on YouTube and you'll see all sorts of crazy stuff that's happened with LiPo batteries. People's cars burning down, people's houses burning down. LiPo batteries can be very dangerous if you don't charge them right, if you don't discharge them right, if you overcharge them, if you undercharge them, if you ask too much of them. That's why there's discharge ratings. If your RC needs a 60C discharge rating and you have a 10C LiPo, pretty much count on that LiPo bursting in the flames. Like, you have to be very careful when it comes to LiPos, so that's why I felt inclined to make this video. Just be safe, guys. Be careful. Be safe. Look up the information from multiple sources, not just one. Make sure that you understand the process, especially if this is your first time buying a LiPo or using a LiPo or charging a LiPo or soldering out the connectors or anything having to do with a LiPo battery. Make sure you know what you're doing with a LiPo battery, or it can be a very dangerous situation. So that's it. You guys have a good night. I'm going to go back to bed. It is now midnight, and yeah. See you guys on my next video.